guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how I cover up my acne. So I've told you guys before that I get these under the skin, if you can see these like clogged pores here, and then I push on them so much that they get like scabbed over because I break the skin. It's a very bad habit, but I obviously have some here, and I want to show you guys how I cover my acne without doing so much coverage and super heavy makeup, because you guys know I don't love a super heavy makeup look. I like a really light, dewy, natural look, and I want to show you that you can cover stuff up without having to add so much product. The first thing that I recommend doing is doing your skincare. I feel like by cleansing your face, moisturizing it a lot, putting your serums on and stuff, it's just giving your skin kind of that TLC that it really needs when it's inflamed and you've got either, you know, kind of like scarring or scabbing or active breakouts, whatever it is. And what I like to do is I go in with my Santosha skincare, but then I also have been using this Glossier Super Bounce serum, and it's a hyaluronic acid serum. So this basically pumps your skin with hydration without making it feel greasy at all. It really soaks in really quick. I've been absolutely obsessed with this stuff. It's just amazing. It's like the lightest weight thing ever. It's got this little dropper, and it's like almost like a milky consistency, but it is the most like hydrating thing without being oily at all. It's really cool, and it leaves your skin looking like kind of glistening. Like you can kind of tell just from going like this. I've got like this kind of dew, and that's from this. And then I also want to go in with a sunscreen because it's really sunny today in Minnesota. It's getting nice, and I know I'm going to be outside a lot today. So this is the Glossier Invisible Shield Daily Sunscreen. This is what this one looks like, and I love this stuff. I am not a sunscreen person. I don't like sunscreen. It has so many chemicals in it, and it just like can clog your pores. This one is such a better option. It's very lightweight. It's clear. It feels like a water gel, so I like this one a lot. So I start with kind of pumping my skin with the good skincare, making sure that it's taken care of, it's cleansed, and good to go. So I want to show you guys how I do cover without making my face look caked with makeup. The first thing that I want to do is I want to add a layer of glow, but of course avoiding the areas that have breakouts because you don't want to highlight those. My favorite product for this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. I have the shade medium 4, and I'm going to apply this to most of my skin, but especially the high points, and I kind of just apply it like that, and I will take my fingers, or you can take a sponge, and I just kind of rub this into the skin, and it already, you see, is giving such a glow. I also have tan on, so that kind of helps, I feel like, cover some of that like uneven skin tone and things, having a layer of self tan. I use Loving Tan or Skin Drop. Today I have Loving Tan on. So I'm just going to kind of blend this into the skin with my fingers. I feel like fingers just makes it soak in better and look more natural. But I like to put this under my eyebrows, right here, on my chin, my nose, my forehead. And I find that the more glow you add to the right places, the more it distracts from areas that aren't doing so well. So like if you look at my face when I have all this glow on, your eyes just kind of go to the glow instead of, you know, these areas that aren't doing so well. So I find that adding glow is a very, very good way to kind of make your skin look really healthy and plump, and it kind of just distracts the eye from anything else going on. So then what I really think is important for covering acne without looking heavy is still going in with a lightweight base and then just adding coverage where you need it. I think when we have a bunch of acne or we have things we're insecure about on our skin, we like to just pile it on all over. And then that actually tends to make our skin look so much worse because then it's clinging to those areas and looking very heavy and obvious. So I'm gonna go in with my Complexion Rescue Hydro Gel Cream. Is that what it's called? Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream from Bare Minerals. I almost need another one of these. I have gone through this 2 full tubes already. Come on, get out. Ugh. Okay, so then I'm just gonna apply this all over the skin. And I'm just gonna do one even layer. And it's okay if you go over that glow product. It's not gonna take it away. That glow product I use underneath of my tint just to give my skin a kind of glow from within type of look. Make sure to kind of drag this product up to your ears and your hairline so that there's no line. Okay, so now that we've got our base on, our skin is already looking so much healthier. I feel like it just looks glowy and dewy and fresh, and I feel like that is such a good way to kind of cover up what's going on, is by adding glow to other places. So right now we're looking very dewy, but you can obviously still see that I've got issues going on here. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start concealing. I'm gonna take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Medium, and I'm gonna conceal under my eyes, because you guys know I've got these dark circles that I like a full coverage concealer to cover. But again, do your normal amount. Don't add extra of anything at this point, because I think, again, we have a tendency to go in with a really heavy hand when we're breaking out, and then things just get crazy really fast. So go in with your normal products first. That's always what I say, is do your makeup as if you're not breaking out first, and then we kind of combat the issues after that. So you want to start with a nice even light layer, just normal layer of what you would typically do. Before I conceal my blemishes, I'm gonna do the rest of my cream products, and the reason is, once I conceal these areas, I don't want the product to move, so I don't want to be blending over it with a bunch of other products. So I'm gonna use my Cloud Paint Dusk Blush from Glossier. And again, I think using cream products is such a good idea to keep everything looking really natural and really light, and also just keeping it glowy and looking really fresh. Again, you want to draw attention to the areas of your skin that are doing well. So by putting some blush here, having a lot of glow, it's gonna just bring the eyes to that area, opposed to here where we're struggling. So I'm gonna add a little bit of blush. I'm not a huge blush person where I want so much, but I do want a little bit. I've been loving this Glossier blush. It's my favorite one. The tone is just like this perfect kind of neutral pinky shade, so it's not overwhelming. I feel like it literally looks like your cheek. I don't even know if you can tell. It's like the subtlest little thing, but I love that. You can see it better in person than on the camera, but okay. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go in and I'm gonna add my Halo Scope. Can you guys tell I'm obsessed with Glossier products? This is the Halo Scope in the shade, where are you? This is what it looks like. This is in the shade Quartz, and it's that kind of balmy highlight. I'm gonna add this to the high points. Even though we have that Charlotte Tilbury product underneath, I like to also go in with a little bit of the Halo Scope just to intensify everything. It just makes everything look so pretty and healthy. I'm obsessed with this product. If you guys haven't tried this product from Glossier, I would highly recommend trying it out. So now that I have gone in with all my cream products, it is time to conceal. So my trick for this is I actually use a lighter coverage concealer. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have the shade Macadamia, which is medium 1.5. And the reason I do this is because you don't actually need a super full coverage heavy concealer if you apply it the way I'm gonna show you. So one mistake that I used to do is trying to conceal pimples with a sponge. For me, this doesn't work. Sponges are designed to pick up excess product. So you want to use something that is not going to remove the coverage. You want something that's going to keep that packed on coverage. So this is my favorite brush to do this. This is the Sedona Lace EB13 brush. You can get any brush that's kind of like this, like a dense, it's like not dense, but not super fluffy. It's that kind of mid, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a mid-density brush. And what I like to do is I like to go in with my concealer and I'm going to dot where I need this coverage. Don't overdo it. You don't need a ton, but just dot where you've got this stuff going on. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my little Sedona Lace brush and lightly tap over. Now the difference between this is going to keep coverage here. It's not actually going to remove like a sponge would. And then what you want to do is once you've kind of packed that product on the areas is you want to blend the edges, because what you don't want is it to look like there's a splotch of concealer. So this is very important. This technique has worked so well for me, is you tap so lightly just to blend it in on this area that has the issue, and then blend out the edges so that it doesn't look like this kind of just splotch of coverage. And if you look up close, I'll move in so you can see, it blends into the skin so well. Now obviously there's a little more coverage there, but if you blend out those edges, it's not going to be so intense. So then I'm going to do the same thing to this side, and I'm going to just put this, and this is why I like a not light coverage concealer, but this one is a more medium opposed to the Shape Tape, which is like heavy. Because it's not gonna look as obvious. This one is also not as drying as Shape Tape. You don't want a super dry concealer, because then again, it's gonna look like this dry powdery splotch. And I've just found that using not a super dewy either, it's like kind of a science. You have to find kind of in between those two, because if it's too dewy, it's just gonna slip off. Or illuminate the area. So you want to use kind of just a satin type concealer, and also one that matches the shade of the tint moisturizer or the foundation you're using, because you don't want a bright splotch either. You want it to blend really well into your skin. And that is what I find that this technique does. See that? It covers them so well, but the rest of your face still looks glowy and natural. It doesn't look so heavy. Sometimes I also like to take this brush and just go along the edges. I know that sounds weird, but it's so easy to get kind of clumped up product, so it's kind of nice to just do that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more concealer under my eyes. But you see how I kind of work in sections to see, like, so that I don't overdo it. You know, you can kind of see the whole thing and see what needs to be done, and then you can go back in and add more if you need it. But I find going kind of slower with products and building as you go helps things not get too heavy or go overboard. You don't want to take away from how much glow you've got going on, so I'm just gonna set where it's really necessary, because if you add a bunch of powder, it's gonna take away all the hard work you've done. So I'm just going to use this Glossier Wowder. I think it's a really nice smoothing powder, and just a little fluffy brush like this, and I'm going to set just under my eyes and my eyelids, because that's where I get pretty oily. I like to go over my eyebrows too, because I feel like the product, the eyebrow product sits better if you do that. And then I'm kind of just using whatever's left over for my T-zone. I'm not adding more. And then you do definitely want to set these areas with the concealer. Do a very light touch and set. Because you don't want that concealer to move, but you also don't want to make it look cakey or heavy. Now, it's not gonna look perfect. It's pimples, like it's not gonna look perfect, but if we can make it look a little bit better, that's what we want. I'm gonna apply the NARS Fort de France highlight. I like to just kind of set all of the cream highlight with powder. And the thing about this highlight is it doesn't look really powdery. It looks like a glow from within type of highlight. See, it's like really smoothing and soft. So I find that putting this over top really doesn't take away from the kind of cream look. And then I definitely want to add bronzer. So I'm going to go in with my favorite bronzer at the moment. This is from Lawless Cosmetics. This is a clean, whoops, let's see, focus please. There we go. Lawless Cosmetics in the shade Golden Hour. It's this beautiful shade here. This is really nice and beachy. It makes you look very sun-kissed and summery, which is what I want. Again, add those products that are gonna make your skin enhanced and look, you know, the best that it can without adding too much. So I think that's like the biggest thing I've learned is just not going overboard with product and allowing your regular routine to kind of do its thing, and then just adding where you really need it. You know, like you don't need full-on concealed coverage all over your skin, so don't add it all over, you know? So then what I'm gonna do, this is important, is when you are adding the bronzer to these areas, I tap. Instead of rubbing it, I tap it over, because again, you don't want to disrupt all that work you just did. I kind of, you know, rub here, but on those areas that we've spent that time concealing, you don't want to disrupt all that product. I just use a big fluffy brush and just pat over everything in those areas that you don't want to move the concealer. You just have to be delicate around those areas. I'm just gonna take a little of this bronzer and put it in my crease as well, so we can just have kind of a uniformed look. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna fill my brows in really quick with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Taupe.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
So I went in with the Glossy Boy Brow. I used the clear one. Just to finish up my brows, I used the Honest Beauty mascara, and now we're just gonna finish up with some lips. I think just gonna go in with, I think, a couple different lipsticks. I normally just do a gloss, but I kind of want to wear an actual lipstick today. Something that I like to do, which is pretty much backwards of how you normally do your lipstick, is I like to go in with my lipstick first and then add my lip liner. I know that's weird, but I just like to do it that way. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Nude Kate, which is from Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury has the prettiest packaging ever. It's just a really pretty nude lipstick. So I'm gonna go in with this first and just kind of dab it on my lips. And then I'm gonna go over with MAC Bosom Friend, which is a really pretty pinky nude. And I'm gonna do the same thing and just tap it on. Then I'm gonna go in with MAC Stripped Down Lip Liner. It's like this nudie brown shade. I definitely need another one. And I'm gonna line on top of my lips. The reason I like to do the lip liner after is because I feel like it maintains the color of the lipstick better. I don't know, I feel like when I add lip liner first, it's like too much of the lip liner color and it takes away from the color of the lipstick. I don't know, it's weird. I'm gonna just top it off with a little bit of this ColourPop Fairy Floss lip gloss, which I can't find anywhere. I don't know if they discontinued it, but that would be so sad. It's my favorite lip gloss. So this is the finished makeup. This is how everything is looking. I absolutely love these tips for covering up breakouts without making your skin look super heavy, cakey, things like that. You can see you don't need full coverage everywhere. You just put it where you need it. It covers up those blemishes, but lets your skin still breathe and still look natural and glowy. And I think it actually hides the blemishes so much better when you're not caking stuff on all over. So it's just like a nice glowy, dewy look, and it is covering up all those breakouts. So I would highly recommend getting just like a little brush like this and tapping over your breakouts using a concealer that is gonna blend into your foundation color, and just do light coverage and dewy and glowy everywhere else, because that is where people's eyes are gonna go, is the glow. So that's it for this video, you guys. If you found it helpful or you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can follow my Instagram if you don't already at rachelannfreeby_. I would love to have you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!